Hey guys, welcome to video 3.3. Right, and last video we were in China. This video we are going to head to Japan. So this is video 3.3. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms you need to know. There's kind of a natural break here, all right? So the theme here is Japan is going to return to isolation. In the 1300s, Japan unity was shattered by warring shoguns. 167 years later, the country is separated. It's shattered into hundreds of little kingdoms. For the next 100 years, this is known as the Warring States periods. Because samurai warriors, how awesome is that, to control feudal states. And basically they would protect the peasants and they would fight for more power. Warrior chieftains known as daimyo, and you samurai their warriors. And the emperor in Kyoto was, by the way, take a second and look at those letters, see what you say, what city you say. Was the figurehead. The daimyo lived in a forest and fortress and fought each other, hence the Warring States period. Some awesome pictures in this. Again, 100 years, warring states. Samurais can control the old feudal states. The daimyo are the warrior chieftain lords. It resembled European feudalism. All right, tons of little kingdoms. The daimyo built castles and created small armies like the feudal system. A new feudalism under strong rulers. New leaders restore order. Oda Nobunaga, he's a brutal, ambitious leader who defeated his rivals and took control of the capital city. All right, just to give you an idea. His motto was rule the empire by force. He created what was known as Tokugawa Japan. Again, Warring States period. After some struggles, daimyo, a powerful chieftain named Tokugawa Aishi, completed unification of Japan. And what he did was he required the daimyo to spend every other year in the capital of Edo, later called Tokyo. So every year they'd have to leave their little kingdoms and serve in the capital. It was a way to take away their power. Again, he unified Japan in 1600, had the loyalty of the daimyo throughout Japanese to Japan. 3 years later, he becomes the only leader. He moved the capital to Edo from Kyoto, which was over here, to Edo, which later becomes Tokyo, and he governed at a local level. Take care of the people, strive to be virtuous, never neglect to protect the country. Varied structure. He's going to start this move from rural to urban. E-I-E-I-O, off to work I go. All right? He does have these, in the Tokugawa Japan, there's still shoguns, the powerful samurais. Again, peasants and artisans are still 4/5 of the population. Merchants at the bottom. I think that's a great representation. So this takes us through it again. First you get Oda Nobunaga, who's the first to use soldiers with muskets to defeat some samurai. Then you get Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who takes control and tried to conquer Korea. When he died, the troops returned to Japan. 1600, we get Tokugawa Aishu. He's the first to take control of the country by defeating his rivals and earning the loyalty of the daimyo. So this is going on during the Warring States. This marks a clear line of demarcation. He moves the capital, centralizes the power, keeps the daimyo in check by making them come every year. And he founded the Tokugawa Shogunate that held the power from 1867. So you get Warring States up here, and then from 1600 to 1867, you get this time period here. And Japan enjoys 250 years of isolation and stability under these shoguns. Farmers produced more food and population rose, because once you got food, people started to have kids. Very, very strict structure. All right, and we've talked about all this already. What's interesting is they go and they follow the teachings of Confucius. And one of the things of Confucius is they put more emphasis on agriculture than commerce. But by 1700, Japan's becoming less this, more that. Cultures there, samurai would attend ceremonial dramas called no. They were based on tragic themes. So again, the samurai have a role, but now it's largely superficial. We do see haiku. That's that poetry that's 5 beats, 7 beats, 5 beats. We see the kabuki theater developed during the Tokugawa Shogunate. Here's the important thing. The Portuguese get to Japan. They bring clocks, eyeglasses, tobacco, firearms. The daimyo were like, yeah, the clocks are nice, the glasses are nice, tobacco's interesting. Let's talk more about those guns. The Portuguese wanted to get involved in Japan's trade with China and Southeast Asia. They're also interested in Korea. Japan at first is eager to receive these newcomers and their goods. The guns. And we see Christian missionaries, Jesuits, Franciscans, Dominicans. But once they start converting, that upsets some of the Tokugawa leaders since they scorned traditional Japanese beliefs and they got involved in local politics. Basically, who are these strangers challenging the way we think and the way we live? So by 1612, the Christians are banned. And they start ridding the country of Christians. So again, for a moment there, the door was open, and then the door got slammed shut. And the Christians were ruthlessly prosecuted. Guns, cannons, guns. What's interesting is, ironically, the guns and the cannons force the castles to be changed the way they're built. And what we start to see are merchants and artisans getting wealthy because it's going to change the way towns develop. 1612, Christians banned. 1637, there's an attempt by the Christians to rebel. Then they all get kicked out. This leads to the closed country policy. And literally the closed country policy means Japan's closed. Japanese were forbidden to leave, so they wouldn't bring back any foreign nobody in and nobody out. And the only people they really traded with were the Dutch at one port. Because of this, Japanese were forced to become self-sufficient. I think this is the key. We like your guns, we don't like your ideas. If you're a closed country, you're isolated, you're keeping to yourself. Monopoly, the government ran the trade for over 200 years. And because of this, interestingly, Japan becomes very self-sufficient. Because if you can't trade, you got to make it yourself, man. All right, that's it. Video 3.3 is done. Wait.